I will too.
On Parsons Field is correct. Hold on. Let me ask you a question, Lori. Has he shared any of the figures with you on paying back Parsons Field for the cruiser? Did you share any of those figures? Okay. That's what I was calling about, to verify the figures with
Okay, you're on
putting
it.
together warrant articles. So. Okay.
Mark used 2 tons of
Check
salt.
to see if he's available.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Or 2.
That's concerning too, though.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. David, I'm coming up with $7,017. I'm calling him to confirm it because I thought it was 6 something.
How are you getting that?
He put down it's $12,233 a year, so 2.5 years.
Half of 12,000 can't be 7,000, Debbie. Sorry.
No, I took, wait, let me take you, wait. 6,000, yeah, I had the wrong thing there.
Look at what you're typing.
No, I don't want to.
File complaint. Oh, we have another one.
6,000,
6,116.66.
here we go. No, $7,016.66.
Debbie, half of 12,000
I
can't
know,
be
it's only 6,
7,000.
I know,
Has to start with a 6.
I know. Hi.
I don't know what you're doing, but we are on the air, Ed.
I know, well, we're unofficially on the air.
Okay, I'll get a hold of you
This is
tomorrow,
just
thank
background.
you.
Okay.
We don't do that, because I'm looking
We
through
don't
our
have anything
emails
to
with
do.
him
This
and
is
I'm just not
voting
finding
on
it.
it.
No, we'll have to.
Thank you.
Okay, folks,
Bye-bye.
happy to have you joining us today, our friendly little group. Our town clerk is not here at present, so we will start the process without her, and she can jump in when she gets here. As usual, we approve our notes from last week and approve this week's agenda. Pay bills that are due next week and pay bills that are going out this week. Happens every week.
Usually.
Huh?
Usually.
Usually. We do have an ad going in, the shopping guide for the town, a special town meeting on February 27th. Mostly, nothing exciting in that town meeting, just a transfer of funds from one account to another. Nothing on the code enforcement officer. We're expecting January's numbers. We do have the state police report now. Deb, we should change that to
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to take that off
Okay, you
last
know.
week.
state police report, whatever you want to call it. Thank you. I didn't sign the cleaning bill, my goodness. Thanks, man. So the communications, I'm trying to look at the state police. The biggest item was they had 19 medical calls. And the next highest is 5 with 911 hang-up. So they keep track of everything they do for us. One assault, traffic accidents, that type of thing. We don't have the animal control officer. His report will be in next week. Planning board, the next workshop is, well, I don't even know when the next workshop is.
Tomorrow night.
Next Wednesday? Or
No,
tomorrow?
the 7th.
Yeah. Appeals board, nothing going on right now. Comprehensive committee is, they had their meeting last week,
February 13th, we have another.
and another one on the 13th. 6 o'clock. Secaucus Road, update. Dave, you heard anything from,
No, I haven't. I don't know if you read the article that I forwarded to you. Yesterday's Portland Press Herald, the top headline on the front page was how CMP's been just kind of dragging their feet getting together, or getting the upgrades necessary for these solar improvements. It's kind of a catch-22. The state says, we need more solar and wind, but CMP and probably Versa, I don't know that well, are just not doing the upgrades. So we are no further along than we were 3 years ago.
the only good thing is they're leasing the land from us, so we're
Yeah.
making some money. We have our January report for rescue. A lot more information. They gave us a report for the year. 1,019 calls. 956 were covered by Socrates. Cornish calls 284, Parsonsfield 273, Iron 238, so. And Porter 211, so we're all pretty close. Gives a breakdown of the calls, very nice report. This will go in our report that we do for our annual meeting.
Danielle's here.
Sorry.
Hello.
Well, hi there.
Hi there. All right, well, we'll take a little break here. I'm sure everyone's interested in the Saco River Corridor Commission report. But we'll go back to the beginning with that town clerk.
Sorry, did I interrupt by walking
You never interrupt.
in? David, this is yours, and that's that breakdown I owed you.
Oh, great, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, perfect.
It's just a little
Thanks,
summary.
Danielle.
Don't have a lot to talk about. Just a recap of what we've got going on across the hall. Everything got done on time for the taxes, the January 31st deadline. That was a huge process, establishing new online accounts. And the federal government actually had to send verification in the mail, not all online, so we had a long waiting period. So it got all done, it's in, we're all good. So just so
Yeah.
you know, everything did work
Great.
out. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of other clerks had the same problem. So we'll see what the federal government does next time. I just ran a report. 9 accounts are pending foreclosure. We had some movement in a week, which was great. I'm still concerned with the one in New York, so I think I'm gonna take it to the next level. Pay a couple bucks to run a report and get relatives' names, phone numbers, addresses, and just take that to the next level, because we're not getting anywhere otherwise. The presidential primary
Are
election.
people- are these-
Oh, excuse me.
people living in these houses or empty lots or?
Some of them are living in houses. The one I'm concerned with is just land only.
Is what?
Land only.
Okay.
Yeah. The absentee ballots are now available. They became available yesterday. The presidential primary election is March 5th. You can request absentee ballots online by calling us, coming in. We have a station for you to vote here in a private setting. And they can be requested up until February 29th. And just a reminder, President's Day is Monday, February 19th, and we will be closed. That is all we have for now. And the tax collection updates are at the bottom. And automatic foreclosure does happen February 16th.
Did we get any more information on the state with those checks for the plumbing and?
Eric has them organized. We just have to recut the checks per packet. So he's making big headway. He just finished, I think, 2022
Wow.
today. So he's really working hard at that. And we're gonna submit a check per packet, so we just have to do that.
We just have a number of checks that got lost then, or?
I don't know where they went, but they're not cash. They're already voided because they're so old.
How many are we talking about here?
It's been checks up till 2017, so I don't have a full count of how many checks, but
5, 10, 15?
that's a lot more than that.
More than that? Okay. So we just have to recut those checks
Yeah, we'll
then?
just start with the checklist and we'll recut those amounts per packet. But Eric's done a fabulous job. He's really made headway on it real quick.
And I know you're working on the reserve account too.
I'll get there as soon as I get caught up with everything else.
Uh,
It's ready to
Pushy,
go.
it's pushy.
Well, we're gonna need some numbers because we're gonna be
Yep.
transferring money out of there into
Yep.
other accounts, so. Be nice to transfer the right amount.
Okay.
Well, within a few bucks. All right. That's it. Daniel, anything?
No,
Thank you.
sounds good.
We have, back to Saco River Corridor Commission. Send a note to Jesse, our code enforcement officer. A permit to construct a water treatment facility and associated infrastructure no closer than 375 feet from the normal high water line of the Ospey River in Parsifal. So they're obviously going to construct a water treatment facility. And we have 2 or 3 pages of information about where it's going and what it is and all that stuff.
Might just note if anybody is interested, that application or copy of it is available here at the town office. If anybody's interested.
Updated public notice for housing opportunity program, municipal grants with correct hyperlinks, Jesus God. Jen, do you know anything about this?
I do, I'm seeing that it's from Reagan and SMPDC. It's not the money that I submitted for LD 2003 grant. Yep, it's from the same department though, but I don't know about this. And it's not the resilience grant either. Interesting.
I'll have to look at it.
Uh-huh. I'm overloaded on grants right
Yeah,
now.
really.
It's just like, I'll have to talk to Reagan.
You'll have so many grants that will just,
I won't know what to do.
that's true.
Don't have to collect any taxes.
No, don't say it out loud. Oh, this is interesting. This does have to do with LD 2003, though. It's talks about.
All in
yeah.
conjunction with?
Well, it sounds like it, developing programs to promote ADUs, updating land use zoning ordinances. Interesting. Yeah, I'll check this out, because it sounds new.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We have a plow complaint. Someone sheared off a mailbox on 1612 North Road.
I will add to that, I got some verbal complaints from people at the coffee yesterday about one plow driver in particular going very fast. That relates to mailboxes getting hit. But, they said we should suggest that we talk to our plow contractors. You know, plowing is not a high-speed operation.
This is one particular contractor or both?
One in particular.
Okay.
We also got a complaint on Maple Crest that driving way too fast.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard a few complaints also.
Yeah.
There's different drivers, so I
Is
don't
it in your
know.
area, Danielle?
Maple
Maple
Crest?
Crest.
Where?
Maple Crest Road?
Okay.
And I've had complaints about mailboxes being knocked down too, quite a few.
Current policy is we do not pay for mailboxes.
It's not in the plow contractors.
Right.
It's not in their contracts for them to pay for them either. It might be something to look at as a town. It's kind of an issue. Especially when you have somebody who gets their medications in their mailbox, and if it's gone and they don't do delivery, it's,
Yeah, we've been back and forth
yeah,
on it,
I know,
believe me.
I know.
We have a municipal public hearing alert on the property tax stabilization program. Danielle, did you get the town that participated in the program? And then we saved about, the residents saved about 25,000. The state was supposed to reimburse us that 25,000.
Yes.
They're not doing that though, right?
For last year. We
Right.
didn't get it, we got half.
We got half,
Right, yep.
right?
And then the
Okay.
fund ran out of money.
Okay,
That's why this bill is coming in.
right, well, that's why I'm just trying to, so half, for every town, half, they got half of their expected amount. Because I was on the news too, some other town, she was concerned that.
Yeah.
Same number too, 25,000, good number. All right. Debbie, this is from you, but the road commissioner is working on the FEMA reports.
Yes.
Any idea when we might get some money?
No, sir.
Jeez. Now, this is 2 years ago now.
Yes.
The storm over.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't yesterday.
No.
Eh,
And the work's not fun either.
Jesus. Oh.
Never is.
All right, pretty short agenda, actually. Jen, do you have anything? I know you've been working on a lot of stuff over there.
I did submit the paperwork for the LD 2003 funding, so I'm not sure when we'll hear about that, but, and have not heard about the Main Street Crossing grant yet, and we're gonna look into the safety grant from MMA. Now, it looks like there's another that I can look into. Community activity report, I'll do that next week for the lunches in the community cafe. Don't have those numbers in front of me. And then we do need to vote or talk about again as a board on J.P. and Trevor's petition.
Well, we received a petition that, after an initial submission, the second submission was short a few signatures, and we gave the petitioners additional time to get additional signatures. They did that, but then it was found out that there may have been a discrepancy in how the petitions were circulated. So we have decided, or at least I believe, I'm going to recommend that we deny that petition. So I guess I would make a motion that we deny that petition.
This is the last petition, the last
Yeah.
petition, right?
Yeah.
So I'll second that then. We'll vote,
Yep.
Yeah.
all in favor?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. As a
Moving
follow-up
on.
to
Then
that-
as to that,
Yeah, we
add
have
to that.
agreed to work with the petitioners to develop an opt-in for adult use cannabis, which is recreational adult use cannabis, and develop the zoning changes that go with that. They've done a lot of the work. We will basically be going through that with our legal counsel and coming up and then presenting that to the town sometime in the near future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Legal Services received my email, and I bet you I'll get a reply tomorrow.
The only thing, I want people to understand that seems like there's some money out there, and we're trying to get as much as we can for the town. Jen is working diligently trying to get grants, which are really just gifts of money to the town for varying projects that qualify. That's our first option. Our second option is the ARPA funds, where if we can use government money on ARPA qualified projects, obviously the town doesn't have to spend the money and we save some money. And the third option, if worst comes to worst, we gotta spend the money. But we've got a couple options here that are pretty viable. And we're hoping that we can get a lot more done in the town and not cost the town a fortune. Maybe only half a fortune. So with that,
Hang on, you skipped over me.
I didn't. How did I skip over? Oh, meetings. Okay, I thought meeting that anyways. We were talking about. It'll be a special town meeting on the 27th, 6 o'clock, the town office. You will see everything in the shopping guide. Basically, nothing exciting, the transfer of funds to keep accounts straightened out.
But you skipped over me.
Over what?
Over me.
You didn't say anything about,
David
Well,
has some
I-
items to talk about.
Yeah, I have some items to talk
well, I
about.
thought you did with the,
I just addressed the cannabis.
right, I thought that was your items.
I got a list.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
I thought that was your item, you were concentrating on cannabis.
No. So, in conjunction with what Ed just says, we have the warrant for that special town meeting that we are signing now. Just so you know, that will also be available on our website to look at. And Ed says it's nothing special, but hey, it's money, so it is special in my mind. Let's see, I made the rounds with John Waterbury today. He's from MMA Risk Management. He's a property loss assessor, and he needed information that MMA Risk Management did not have, like the sizes of buildings, how old they were, things like that, whether they have power and so on. So he started here, checked this and the shed, and then we went to the old townhouse and then the salt shed on Maplewood, and then the salt shed on Scopus. So,
Why do we go to the old townhouse?
because it's insured.
It's town-owned
It's
property?
town-owned property. It's insured.
Am I thinking of the wrong?
The
Merrill Hill?
townhouse, Merrill
Old
Hill
Merrill
Road.
Hill?
Oh, thank you. Somehow I was down with,
You were still at Milliken?
yeah, no, I was down with the other place that we gave away, so to speak.
Okay.
Milliken.
Okay, so anyways, he will send us a report. He had some suggestions, and I'll tell you right now, one of them is not a suggestion, but we gotta keep this rear exit shoveled during the winter unless we get it designated as a non-exit. And I
The
know
one
that
off the
was-
gym?
Was that?
The one off
No,
the gym?
one right beside
Oh, the
it.
door,
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
To the playground side?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So, I don't know what we're gonna do about that. Frankly, maybe this year, nothing, because it's probably frozen right now. But we need to keep that shoveled, so.
We can't make it a non-exit?
Well, you have to go through the fire marshal, and that was tried, and it turned into a whole hullabaloo.
We asked the contractor just to shovel the doorway clear.
Well, you gotta have a path,
No,
path to freedom. So not just shovel the doorway, it's gonna go
Make
around
that.
the building. Yeah. We can ask him, but it's not part of his contract. He might do it for an extra couple of bucks.
no snow, that's pretty much an extra couple of bucks.
Yeah. Okay, but we can wait for the recommendations, okay? So we don't need to do anything immediately. Let's see, we already talked about the solar. While we were making the rounds today, we noticed the generator and the mower out there. The generator being the old generator. We have a 5,000 watt, excuse me.
In the shed?
Actually, it's in the boiler room.
Okay.
And then the riding mower out there. And at this point, I would recommend we sell them. Unfortunately, both of them have gas that's probably, well, the generator gas is probably 4 years old. The mower gas is probably almost 10 years old. So they probably won't start the way they are. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Anyway, we need to think about that, because they're just sitting out there taking up space.
It's not used in the summer, the ride-on?
No,
No?
we contract our
Okay.
mower. Yeah, yeah. I offered to do some of it. I was shot down. Okay, and the last thing is the Boston Post cane. Unfortunately, Marilyn Lord, who had the cane, passed away. So we need to come up with the next recipient of the Boston Post cane. And I'll have to look through my lists. Danielle, if you have ideas, thoughts, if anybody has ideas or thoughts for the oldest resident. Once we figure out who it is, we'll get a couple of little plaques made, put them on a cane, and schedule a presentation. And now I'm done. Thank you.
I didn't realize you were such a wealth of knowledge today.
Well, not sure about that.
JP, you've been here patiently. Would you like to contribute anything more?
I guess I have a follow-up question. Has any efforts or headway been made about the park proposal that we discussed a month ago?
The what proposal?
Park reallocating some of the funds from Darren's contract possibly to help fund a park? You said you were working on that, Jen?
Yes. That probably would come up as a discussion with what we can do with the ARPA funds to vote on. I just entered a Maine Resilience Community Partnership, and part of that would be having a park somewhere. And they would be willing to help us, like, not only fund it, but develop it. So it is out there. Where, I'm not sure. Maybe that 5 acres of town-owned land by the river, I think that would be great. We also have this field back here. So, nothing, I can't say, nothing concrete.
Okay.
Yep.
If there's anything I or guys need a petition done or something like that, let me know.
Okay.
Actual steps forward are always huge for me.
I think we'll be good to move forward on that. I think what's the committee that you had talked about? Not the conservation committee.
A recreation
The
committee?
recreation
Yeah,
committee.
yeah.
You know, that may be, we may want to establish that.
Right. A recreation committee would be a lot easier than doing a
Right.
conservation committee.
What's it take to establish something? Just you guys voting on it and then it becoming a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
And then
Yeah.
appointing members, yeah.
Easy, I mean, we talk about it, the comprehensive plan, all the time, so there's been a few people on that who are interested also.
Be nice to get things passed.
Sure, sure.
To start doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to head something like that, I don't see why we couldn't put like an ad in the paper or something. You know.
I think first you guys need to vote as a select board to establish one, and then the staffing part comes second, but I don't know
Right.
completely, that's,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
we would need to generate a charter for that
Right.
committee
right.
and then vote on that. So we'll look at that in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Be nice to know the interest in it too. I know you are, I know a couple of people from the comp plan are, and RV and that kind of thing, yeah.
Cool.
Any ideas on what you would like to see in terms of a rec committee or a park or?
I think the basics charter has to be established by the select board as far as the purview, if it's boat ramps and parks and stuff like that. And I think the committee from there would just research what grants are out there, who they could work with, and they would take a lot off the select board's plate in that matter to coordinate with. And then, they can work with the planning board to see if places need to be rezoned or what happens from there. And then, they can start begging for funds to make it happen.
What are you thinking of, like a basketball court or?
What am I envisioning?
Yeah.
If you guys get that charter passed, I envision just a park that's accessible for all the kids in a decent area. I don't know. Maybe a pipe dream would be like a skateboard ramp or something that attracts kids.
Yeah.
River access, I think, would be huge to the Ossipee to further fishing and more aquatic access, as long as it's safe. Like, I can tell you what I want all day long, but it's gonna be limited to what's available from the state.
Yeah. Well, it's good
funding.
to hear a vision too, like what what you're thinking of doing, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be honest, usually I come up with a vision and I come up with action steps behind it, and then I announce both at once.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of hot air if you can't make something happen, and you just talk about what you're trying to happen.
Yep,
So,
I know. SRCC would probably want to be involved too, just because of the river access, so,
yeah.
yeah.
And then the trash thing that we discussed, did you guys dig into that at all?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
Is there anything that I can do to help push that?
Nope. That's something that we would have to ask the town about.
Right. I know the last thing that we talked about was you guys were going to review the contract to see when it was up for renewal. And that was going to be the first step
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were my questions.
Okay,
Good. Thank you.
Just a
Yeah.
quick one. I
Sure.
just wanted to follow up, we talked a little bit about at the workshop, the text my gov texting.
Yes.
And kind of rolled into the citizen concern form type system. Do you guys have any feelings on that or any additional questions? Because I did reach out to the company, and just to recap, this text my gov system is a texting system that a lot of towns use that send out notifications, office closures, meeting reminders, different changes, kind of the same stuff we would put on our Facebook page, website, shopper's guide. It's just one more way of people signing up and being informed on what's going on with the town. It would also serve as the residents can text a number and get information, like what time today does the town office close? It would fire back the information that they need. It can also go as far as if they have, for instance, a plowing concern, the option would go ahead and fire back, you know, different information and direct them to the plow contractor who's responsible for that end of town. It can be used a series of different ways. What I really like about it is it also logs all the information that it sends out, and you can also see, like, you know, say, and I don't mean to hammer on the plowing, but how many mailbox concerns have we had? Is there 50? Is there 2?
Total for the week is.
What end of town is it coming from? And you can just go online and go into the system and say, and just look at the data that it kind of fires back. It costs $2,000 a year, and it would be $3,000 for the first year because it's $1,000 worth of setup. I didn't know if we should go any further with this, or are we gonna, is there no interest in anything like this, or?
I did call Waterboro and they never got back to me, but I'll reach
Okay.
out again to see how that works for them.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, I got another email from a very similar program. It
Okay.
wasn't called Text My Gov, it was something similar to it, but it was another, you know, sending out a mass email thing or
Yep.
texting thing. Do you know about cell coverage? I mean,
I think
if it's
just-
if you don't get cell coverage, you're not gonna get the text, or you,
Well, I think it's just like anything else.
Like anything else,
If you
yeah.
don't have internet, you're not gonna get Facebook or the website. I mean, this would
Right.
just be another thing. If you don't have cell coverage, you're not gonna be able to use your cell phone.
right,
That's
Yeah.
how it is. That's why we always try to make sure we get the shopper's guide ad out, because people will get that in the mail
Yeah.
regardless. So, you know, if we close, I still put it on 6, 8, 13.
yep,
If there's a delayed opening. I mean, we try to hit everything.
Yeah.
It's just we're so reliant on our phones these days.
right,
As far as the ARPA funds go, I didn't know if this would also work as, you know, we talked about, Cornish has a citizen concern form.
right,
And it's a way of recording if there's a problem, and it gets transferred to the appropriate person and requires a follow-up by that person who's responsible.
oh, you mean putting it on the Text My Gov thing?
Yeah, that would be another way
Oh,
of
uh-huh.
seeing if they responded
Uh-huh.
to this problem.
Uh-huh.
And if not, or do we want to do something like a citizen concern form, a paper form?
Right.
What would be?
Like Jesse has one for the CEO office, but,
I just feel like we
Right.
need something. When
Yeah.
like, for instance, when that Maple Crest concern came in about the plow,
right.
I brought it up, and it kind of, there's no,
How did that paper get written about the mailbox? It looks handwritten. Did somebody come in? and-
someone came in and they said, well, can we jot it down? I said, well, we have this old form, it's not our current, you know, but just write down your information, and
Uh-huh. So,
that's what we got,
okay.
so.
Okay, but it was the follow-up and what we
Yep.
were looking for also.
Danielle, do you know how the school, what system they use to
I
notify?
can find out, and it'd be the only thing with the school is they'll send out a text message, you know, school's closed, you know,
Right.
or whatever, but there's no way for me to text the school and say, what time are you, yeah, when's the basketball game? No one's gonna get back to me. This
Well, I'm just
system's
curious if they
different.
use the same type of program, same
I
company,
can ask.
same.
I can ask the middle school or the
It's very likely
superintendent's
that
office.
whoever does it has an expanded version,
Could be,
similar to
Yep.
Text My Gov.
Mm,
so, I didn't know if we could have that kind of discussion. I just feel like there should be something set up for people.
it'd be nice to have a survey, or, you know, if we could find out from how many people would use it.
Well, I was wondering about that, if anyone had any, they have surveys that, and I wouldn't have a problem setting that up and putting it on our Facebook page and
Uh-huh.
website, just to kind of get a feeling from everyone. Would they use it? What detail would they use it?
Yep.
Do they just want notifications?
Mhm.
That might be a different system. Do they like the interactive, like, you know,
Uh-huh.
texting, like, because they can go as far as texting, say, for instance, and just a picture, oh, the mailbox issue. Someone
Right.
could say, this is my mailbox, click.
Yep,
And they could send a picture to the appropriate person.
Right.
And we would have those pictures.
yeah,
There was a concern about the space. Remember, there was a certain language if it
Oh,
went
yeah.
over a certain.
right,
I
right.
did ask him about that,
Yeah.
and he said that's totally manageable.
Uh-huh.
For big towns, you know, that's always like an option you're gonna go
Yep.
over because you want to save them. But those can always be cleared out. Like, okay, this got delete, delete, delete. You know, that would be a space management.
Uh-huh.
He says knowing, you know, keep it small, they would definitely do that.
Do that.
So, yep.
Do we have the ability of like doing a Survey Monkey?
I can look into it. I
Uh-huh.
would like to do that
Yeah,
because
I think it'd be
if
great.
there's no
I think-
interest,
yeah.
then fine.
Yeah,
But
right.
it just sounds, we need something. I
Yeah.
just feel like.
I'll put it on I'll call Waterboro again. I didn't.
And he gave me her contact too. He said, "Oh, so and so is great. She uses it 5 different ways. They love it. Da da da." So I might be able to get an actual
Okay.
name.
If you,
from
yeah,
him.
that might be
Just
better
John-
because I went
John.
through a multitude of press this, press that.
Is that okay to go ahead and look at the survey thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do it, yeah.
I sometimes have questions about online surveys, but it would be curious to see what kind of response we got.
Do you want to do like almost like another option, like an email if you're interested type, instead of a
Well,
survey or two
No,
together?
I'd say do the survey.
Surveys are
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
see what kind of response we get.
okay. I'll go do that.
Speaking of websites, have you guys had a chance to look through the new?
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I have a bunch of slightly cosmetic
Okay,
things.
yep, okay, no problem.
And I need to finish going through it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah. Did you take a look at the new website? What'd you think?
My opinions on websites are marginal at best. So no, it's fine.
We
You
should
guys
prob-
know what you're doing.
We should probably meet with Deb again.
Yeah.
To go over everything.
Sounds good.
At some point.
Okay.
I'll formalize a list of
Yeah.
things, because it's.
I do
It's
too.
things like spacing,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yep.
there's no space between a heading, sometimes there's 2 spaces.
Yep.
It just isn't consistent, but.
Yeah.
No, the
No,
general
she appreciates
layout's
that kind
great.
of stuff too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that'd be good
What's that?
to sit down with her, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's good to sit down with her, do you think? Or
Towards the end of the month,
end of the month?
yeah.
Okay. We'll see her before then, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can look at it on Monday too.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, folks. That's it. Thank you very much.
And we're all in favor of a rec committee?
Who?
Well, we're gonna have to put a charter together.
Well, you got it right.
Right, okay. as long as
Sounds
we're
like
all
a
in favor
reasonable
of it.
idea.
Okay.
We're in favor of putting the charter
Yep.
together. And going from there.
Okay.
Yes.